Hey everyone, it has been a while since I have shared a video on my YouTube channel for you all. For those of you who follow me on Instagram, you will know, through my stories, life's been a bit of a roller coaster for me the last 3 to 4 months. And so I didn't get a chance to post on all my social media platforms the way I would have liked to. But I am here now, my loves, not only with regular content, but I am adding some new content like this to my channel as well. And I hope you find it helpful. So as you all know, I post readings on here. But I have spent a long time planning and thinking about how else I can best offer content that helps you with 3 things in particular: self-love, healing, and empowerment. Especially because when it comes to romantic relationships, this is something we can often struggle with if things are not going well. So today I'm sharing my first video related to this. The intention behind all of these kind of videos, aka a conversation with JJ, is to support you on your journey towards self-empowerment, and for you guys to have tools to work through any moments you feel stuck or stressed out about what is happening between you and another person or romantic interest. So on to what I'm discussing today, and I am going to make it a bit personal. I'm going to use my own example so I can share with you how it benefited me, and I probably will in future videos as well. But before I go on, if you are not following already, press subscribe so you are notified of future videos. So my loves, let's get into this. And I think there'll be quite a few of you who will relate to this. I'm going to talk about my own connection. So guys, when I met my counterpart, I didn't expect to experience such a profound connection with someone. And it felt really hard. There were so many amazing moments between us, but there was often this emotional and mental conflict that I felt within myself. I felt like I was trying to navigate what felt like at times an impossible connection, where I was experiencing the most intense, deep feelings for someone. But what I didn't realize and recognize that whilst I was trying to navigate these intense feelings, I was actually heading down towards a path of self-destruction. My mind was my biggest struggle here. This was the thoughts I had about me, my counterpart, my connection, where it was going, in particular what the outcome will be. And as most of you know, what you think is what you feel. And guys, I didn't often feel good about this connection. I often felt confused. I often felt stressed. I often felt hurt. I felt like I was going crazy. And I became quite obsessed as well with where this connection was going, especially the outcome. And there were a lot of things that I was doing which I didn't realize at the time is I was falling into this toxic pattern that was really unhealthy for me. Some examples of this, my loves, is I would, for example, check if he was online on WhatsApp, and constantly, especially if I didn't hear from him, or if I would check if he'd seen my message, if he'd opened my message, if he was ghosting me. I would start thinking these kind of thoughts. Another thought would be, oh, he's been online for a while. I wonder if he's talking to another girl. And that would make me very anxious. He'd be changing his profile picture on WhatsApp, and I'll start thinking, who's he trying to impress? It would make me very anxious. If he didn't message me back, I would start thinking, oh, I wonder if he's talking to someone else. Started to feel really insecure, and that would make me anxious. I would book readings in. Where I wanted to know what was happening. I wanted to know how he felt about me. I wanted to know if he was involved with someone else. I wanted to know if he was going to make a move, and I would become anxious and did rely quite heavily on readings to comfort me and try and relieve that anxiety. But it was something that ended up becoming quite a toxic pattern for me. I would even turn into a private investigator to see his social media pages to see if he was talking to someone, to try and figure out, if there was someone new that he's become friends with, and if it was a female, and start thinking, I wonder if there's something going on there. Really unhealthy approaches. And this was the things that I was saying to myself, thinking, obsessing over when it came to my counterpart, the person who I share a deep connection with, the person who I feel such a deep love for. And all I wanted was for us to be in union. You know, I thought this way for a long time. And without me realizing, you know, it was affecting me bad, and I was falling into very toxic patterns. And all of this was constantly chipping away at my confidence. The longer I spent investing in these kind of thoughts, the more anxious I would become about the connection, the more I was struggling to navigate it and struggling with the feelings that I have for him. I didn't see how I was being affected at the time because I wasn't focusing on what I was doing. I was focusing on what he was doing. I wasn't focusing on the toxic patterns I was falling into. Instead, I was focusing on the toxic patterns that he might be falling into. You know, I wasn't focusing on how much I love myself. I wasn't focusing on my own self-worth. I was focusing on if he loved me. You know, I was focusing on if he thought I was worthy. And without realizing, I was giving my power away more and more and more. My mind and my body was on this constant overload of worry and questions. And often I would come up with so many different answers to those questions, which was adding to my anxiety. And to be honest, a lot of those answers I came up with were probably not even true. Wasn't what was happening in the reality, but my fear around what might be happening, you know, was causing a lot of stress in me and was driving all these answers in me as well. Fear was driving all of these thoughts. You know, I had this fear and sinking feeling in me that he did not feel the same way as me and that he was going to offer what I wanted from him to someone else. And I would become scared of how I would cope with that because it would hurt me. That fear, that insecurity I had within myself about what was going to happen and worrying about what lies ahead was creating all these kind of toxic thoughts and reactions and leading me down this path of self-sabotage. And all those things I was doing, those constant thoughts, made me feel like I was going crazy. And then I had this huge wake-up call, and it felt like a really hard slap in the face, but it actually ended up being the key to my breakthrough. It took a huge trigger that did actually involve him being involved with someone else. That knocked me down hard. It hurted so deep. It affected me really deeply. I was literally lying on my sofa for 2 weeks. I spent the first week replaying that situation from finding out and everything that happened around that in my mind over again. My health was affected because of the stress I was putting on my body, with thoughts I was having. I spent the following week trying to shift my mind while still being on the sofa, struggling with those feelings and my health. And I didn't follow any self-love or mindfulness techniques like go out for a walk because I was emotionally and physically drained. You know, I didn't meditate because I was mentally drained. You know, I didn't do things like journaling because I was confused and I was drained. I was just so exhausted by how I was feeling. I had no energy to do any of those things, despite knowing the benefits, despite knowing that actually these things can help me out of this very low place. I just did not have the energy, but I did have the energy to think. And I decided one day to think about what brought me strength and comfort in this situation. And that was reassuring myself that everything will be okay. No matter the outcome and how I was feeling, everything will be okay. That I am going to be okay. And my loves, that was it. That was my first step. Reassuring thoughts and affirmations is what I repeated over and over again to myself. And I didn't realize this would be the start of me realizing that I can take back control of how I feel, and I can decide how I'm going to navigate and move forward with this situation because I am the one who decides. I didn't realize at the time that I was actually disempowering myself and contributing to knocking my confidence down because of how I am navigating this connection. You know, I didn't realize at the time that actually he's not responsible for how I move with this situation and how I feel. I'm in charge of this. This step of me constantly reassuring myself was the first step to make me realize all of this. It took a massive rejection that felt like a punch in the face, knocked me down to learn how to get back up, but this time for myself, not for him, not for the connection or union or anyone else, but myself. That reassurance, that first step, was me constantly repeating in my thoughts affirmations like, I trust you, universe. I trust everything will work out for me. I trust I will feel better. I trust that I will stop hurting. I trust I will be okay. I know you have got me, universe. And I repeated affirmations like this constantly. I didn't stop until I started to get up each day feeling a lot more balanced. Now, the more I started to regain balance and control, there were other things I did to help me, which I will also share. So look out for my future videos where I'll talk more about this and provide you with different techniques and steps. But this was my first starting point. And this is what opened up other steps that continue to help me become more confident, empower myself, love myself, and surrender. Dry throat then before I start coughing. So why did reassuring myself help me so much? Because I was letting myself know I am safe, and it is safe for me to make a change. Even if I was hurting deeply, as I said, fear was in the driver's seat, and I was afraid of so many things when it came to this connection, mainly about the outcome. But by reassuring myself, I was letting myself know that no matter how much I am hurting, I will feel happier again. I was letting myself know that it is safe for me to take a step back from this connection. And by stepping back, I was starting to let that fear in me know that you're no longer in charge. I am in charge of how I'm going to feel. So, my loves, reassuring yourself with your own words, this is helping in you regaining your confidence in yourself and your path. Regaining your confidence in trusting the unknown, regaining your confidence in believing in yourself, regaining your power, and with that knowing with no doubt that you are worthy. When you are reassuring yourself, you are letting yourself know that it is safe for you to make these changes that are going to help you break free of the patterns you have been in that have dragged you down. Now, how do you reassure yourselves? So my loves, my suggestion, advice, guidance for you all is if you are in this situation, then take that first step to shift your thoughts. Take that first step to move from this disempowering yourself place to an empowering yourself place. Take that first step where you are allowing yourself to recognize that you are in charge of you and how you feel. Take that first step to feel safe in this situation. So start with saying affirmations every single day. Shift your thoughts towards this connection, away from this connection, focusing on yourself, not the other person, not the connection, but yourself. Words are very powerful. They're magic. They are manifesting your reality every single day. So use words that are connected to you creating a reality that makes you feel good about yourself and makes you feel empowered. If you have struggled to take back control and step away from feeling so drained towards a place where you feel more balanced and confident, then you first need to start shifting the way you think about this situation. Now, this is not about you reaching a place where you do not have those feelings, although that might happen for you. This is about you being able to experience those feelings in a more healthier way, for you to experience those feelings and still feel empowered, for you to reach a place where you do not feel anxious about the outcome, no matter what that outcome is. Now, some of you may say, JJ, that is impossible when you feel such a strong pull towards someone. And my answer to that is no, it is not. That is your fear speaking. That is your resistance to change showing up. It is never, ever impossible to work on yourself, my loves. And you can share a deep connection with someone and still navigate it in a way where it does not take you down the path of self-destruction. So what is the key in this step. It's consistency. You have to be consistent, and real talk, don't expect to wake up the next day if you start doing this and feel empowered and feel a lot more happier and feel less anxious. You have to repeat this step every single day. Now, please don't quote me on this, but if I have remembered correctly, there has been some research done that says it takes 21 days to make or break a habit. Some say 30 days. That includes your mindset and your thoughts. So get into a routine of this being your daily script, and don't just stop at 30 days. Keep going, and you will start to feel a lot more confident and better within yourself. So guys, to repeat, the first step is to work on your thoughts. Shift your thoughts and reassure yourself with those thoughts every single day. Now, before I end this video, here are 5 affirmations that can help you towards this. Also, keep an eye on my future videos and updates on my other social media platforms, as I do have affirmation decks coming out focusing on self-love, healing and empowerment. So my love, some affirmations for you. I am getting better and better every day. All I need is within me right now. The universe always has my back. I release all negative thoughts and feelings. I am confident and worthy. My loves, thank you so much for joining me for the first of many conversations with JJ videos. Until the next time, stay blessed and know you are loved. You can empower yourself and you are in control.